It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by Gravely Zero-Turn Commercial Mowers. Heavy rain this morning will continue throughout the day with a high of 62 degrees. It's currently 36 degrees here in Milwaukee.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Fly ball left center. Back is Mullins and won't catch this one. It's gone and we're tied. First of the year for Bryce Terang, and that was a nuke.
Well, the kid's coming into his own, isn't he?
And a ground ball to the right side. He'll do it. Ortiz scores. Terang coming home. It's cut off. A 2-run single for Christian Yelich, and he does it again in the 8th. Liner down the right field line. That could clear him. Contreras is in. Yelich is in. Now Bauer stops because he missed second base. Mitchell will have a double. Bowers is safe at third. Hamilton, a bullet to center. That'll get another run home. A 6-run 8th inning. It's 8-2. Struck him out. Ball game over, and the Brewers take the series over the Rays. They finished the first 6 games at home, 5-1.
We'll take it. 5-1 for the Brewers in their first homestand, and now off to the road for their first road trip of the season. We'll see how much we can read into these first games, Josh. Last year, 0-4. This year, 5-1. We'll like spring training, right? It doesn't matter if we lose this early. No big deal. But when we win, let's go. This is great news.
I like winning. Keep winning.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's play catch-up.
Packers.
So no specific news, which is probably good news, because if there was news, it's most likely not good news. And so the next news will likely come from free agency news prior to all the news that will come out of the NFL draft later in Pittsburgh. But there was news out of Miami yesterday, Josh. And I don't know if you saw this, but Jeff Hafley spoke and talked about what Matt LaFleur meant to him. Did you see this?
I did not.
He said that what he learned from Matt LaFleur was how to be the offensive coordinator and the head coach, which will help Hafley be the defensive coordinator and the head coach in Miami. Thought that was very fascinating, because we've been asking for a very long time what Steno does. And for Hafley to call Matt LaFleur the offensive coordinator, now I think we know what he meant. He's the offensive mind, no different than Jeff Hafley will be the defensive mind. But if I'm the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, and I hear the defensive coordinator that just left the team call the head coach the offensive coordinator, I'm pissed.
Yeah, I might be sending Hafley a text. Hey, what are you doing? Don't say that.
So how do we read into that? Because, Josh, we've been asking for a while now what it is that Steno does and what it is that Matt does in regard to offensive planning. I think Matt spends a lot of time working on the offense. We saw him numerous times last season turn his back to the field when the defense was on, meaning focus on the offense. Can we read into this or not so much?
I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to take, what Jeff Hafley is saying about it, but I would like to get an answer. I would like, whenever Stenavich talks next, or, in a presser, some training camp presser that LaFleur's in front of a podium, I would love for someone to just ask, like, hey, can you help us? Can you clarify for us the roles and responsibilities and the differences between what you do and what Stenavich does for this offense?
Does Matt put the game plan together and Steno executes it? Does Steno
I don't
put
think
the
that's
game?
it at all. You don't think that on game day LaFleur is executing?
Oh, yeah, he is. I'm saying in terms of planning for the week, right? That's typically what the coordinator's positions are, is they help plan for the week. They make sure everybody knows their roles and responsibilities in regard to what the plan is. Matt's the offensive play caller, but I don't know that he's in charge of the entire offensive execution. I just think he's play by play. There's a plan someplace. And is Steno in charge of that? We don't know. But for Jeff Hafley to call Matt LaFleur the offensive coordinator and the head coach, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, and I also don't know if I look at that and I'm Miami, I don't know that I want my head coach to also follow that, line of thinking.
Well, they hired him with that line of thinking.
Well,
so
I guess, yeah.
Must be something that they're cool with. And again, we're not trying to put words in Jeff Hafley's mouth. We understand what he meant. But what he said, I was like, holy cow. That's exactly.
Sometimes there's usually some truth.
What we thought that was going on. Brewers 5-1 on the season. Another big win yesterday afternoon, 8-2 over the Rays. The second series in a row that they've won in the second outing by Jacob Mizorowski. That is gangbusters. 6 innings pitched, only 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and the only damage against him was that Diaz homer early on. And so we take all the things that we learned from the first few games and we take it on the road now to Kansas City and then to Boston. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Boston, did you see how Caleb Durbin is starting the season?
Yeah, we might be talking about him a little bit later in the show in a segment called Be Better.
Yeah, not good. Oh, for all of it, actually. I sent him a text last night. He was flying when I sent it. And I just said, Derb, keep your head up. You're in the show for a reason. It's hard, man. This is not an easy deal to go 0 for whatever it is at this point in the season. And when Dave Portnoy, one of the biggest Red Sox fans ever, starts tweeting that Caleb Durbin is a bust this early in the season, that's got to weigh heavy on a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, obviously you feel bad for him. I don't think that there are a lot of Brewer players that get traded away that we absolutely hate, that we hate watch on other teams. Just doesn't seem to be a mentality. There are a few, but not a lot. And a lot of them also usually it's like maybe they leave on their own accord, not something where they were a part of a trade. I feel like usually when I see them, as long as they're not playing for the Cubs or the Cardinals, I'm usually like, I want to see him do well. And Durbin's absolutely on that list.
There's one in particular, though, right now, that's a former Brewer who I absolutely hate watching, can't stand watching him play.
Who's that?
He plays for the Mets, at least he used to.
Are you talking about Winker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, he's like the top of the list, right? But he's also come out and said things. Mm-hmm. So he's created that story arc for himself in Milwaukee.
It's the second time this season the Brewers have had a 6th-run 8th inning. It was against the Sox on March 29th, and now against the Rays yesterday. I would like to think that we can do better things as we move forward on a Be Better Thursday and score more runs before the bottom of the 8th inning because it's a little tense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you got to remember that yesterday was supposed to be a pitcher's duel, and, the runs came after a pause in the action with CB Buckner going down, which we'll talk about later in the show. But, so they talked about how that can throw off a pitcher, starting pitcher, that pause in the game. And then they both kind of got locked back in. And it wasn't until, the Brewers could finally break it open because the Rays don't have as good of a bullpen, and the Brewers did what the Brewers do. I felt like that win yesterday was very much like a lot of big wins that happened last season.
Mm-hmm.
It was tense. It was, you were on the edge of your seat, and then right at the end, last couple innings, Brewers go, oh, you can calm down. We got this. Blow it
Is
wide
that
open.
ideal? Is that ideal as Brewers fans,
No.
or do we want to?
I want it to be 8-0 in the first. I want them to go into the top of the second up 8-0. But that's, not always going to happen.
The 920 says, what are we in the American League now? Kansas City and Boston? Jeez. We'll pause. The rules changed a year or two ago. We no longer spend all of our time playing the people within our division the majority of the time.
We just played the White Sox and Rays.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not like we just got done facing the Pirates and the Reds.
What's the best thing to see for the Brewers this season so far is that Yelly apparently has found his clutch bat, his clutch swing, his clutch stance, whatever it is. Knock on wood, Yelly appears to be back.
Yeah, that's one of many. There are a lot of things in the first 6 games that if you're looking at that as your report card and how you're viewing this team, you're excited. Joey Ortiz has been doing great. Pitching has been doing great. Everything's up right now.
Joey Ortiz is putting the bat on the ball this year so far, pretty much not how he did it at all last season. He's hitting the ball hard and far. There was a long out, second or third inning in the beginning of that game yesterday that was deep to center field off Joey Ortiz's bat. It was the defensive play of the game that early on, and it was really encouraging for Brewers fans to see him swing like that.
Yeah, it was actually in the second. It was right before Bryce Terang's home run, which is why on that call from Jeff Levering, you hear him say he's not going to catch this one because he had just caught Ortiz's ball that could have absolutely been a multi-base hit.
Early in the game, Josh mentioned it. There was a 10-minute delay. Poor CB Buckner had a really, really bad day at work yesterday. Like, he's had some rough days at work, not making some great calls and having a rough day behind the plate that we all have seen. But yesterday, he was there again, back behind home plate, and took a foul ball off of Miz and then off of a bat. No idea how fast that ball is going at that point, but it hit him square in the face.
I saw on social media 100.2.
That was the pitch.
Right. That was the pitch.
How much faster is it coming off of a foul ball and then immediately into your face?
Right.
No clue, yet it took him down to a knee and removed him from the game. He was weeble wobbles for sure, so we wish him all the best. Josh, good thing you and I showed a little bit of empathy towards CB Buckner yesterday, because we can be the ones today that said, hey, we weren't that hard on him yesterday.
No, I felt bad for the guy. I said, come on, how do you not feel bad for him? And then that happened. I went, oh boy. And that'll be, trust me, there's some CB Buckner comments in Be Better in the 7:00 hour you're going to want to listen to as well.
Off to the Royals now, off today. Royals tomorrow, April 3rd, Saturday and Sunday as well. 6:45 on Friday night, 3:10 on Saturday, 1:10 on Sunday. And then off to Boston. We ship for another stand there next week. The really like East Coast games. They're earlier.
Oh, right. Yeah.
5:45 on Monday.
Yeah. The West Coast games are not fun.
Anything new with the Badgers?
Badgers.
There was a nice little video that I saw come out from Badgers men's basketball with guys like Nick Boyd and others just thanking fans, thanking them for their time in Wisconsin with the Badgers, and just reminiscing on what was a good season for Wisconsin basketball. Not the best season, and another early exit, but nonetheless a grateful bunch as we all wait for the Frozen Four next week. The men's hockey team off to Las Vegas for the first time in the Frozen Four since 2010. How are the Bucks doing?
Bucks.
Well, I mean, depending on who you ask, last night was good, even though they lost.
Yeah, they lose 119 to 113 to the Rockets. Rockets are 47-29, so they're having a good season. The Bucks not so much. and I know this sucks, but this is where the Bucks need to be right now. Winning doesn't help this team at all. I don't know necessarily that losing helps beyond just maybe getting them an extra ping pong ball, but that's more than if they win, which is just, it sucks that they're in that place, but that's reality.
So where do we stand as Bucks fans right now? Can't get done with the season fast enough, preparing ourselves for the worst and blowing up the team literally all together and starting over? Because Jimmy Haslam has that as a good reputation that he can manage as an owner of a professional sports team. What do we look forward to here?
Yeah, for me, I think it's just the end of the season. Just get there at this point. 6 games left, 3 more at home, 3 on the road. You got the Celtics coming to town tomorrow night. I think you're just trying to get through it. That's it. I don't even know necessarily that you're looking at some of the young talent to see, like, all right, some of these guys we've had on the bench, let's see what these guys can do. I don't think that's the same in basketball. I really think it just comes down to make sure assets that you're going to try to trade don't get hurt in meaningless games. That's essentially it.
That's exactly why Giannis is literally never going to play in Milwaukee ever again, if that's my bet, to be honest. And does Doc Rivers announce his retirement in the post-game press conference after the last game of the season? Because if he doesn't, he's going to get fired the very next second.
Yeah, I don't think I would be very surprised. He's not going to do an presser. I don't think that happens.
So then does he get whacked?
No, I think something will just come out after the fact, after the season's over, saying, yep, he decided to retire. What a great career for Doc Rivers, blah, 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 blah. It didn't end the way he wanted, but still an amazing career. Finds out he's going to the Hall of Fame, blah, blah, blah.
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 Anything else?
Anything else?
Did you make it out of April Fools without having your leg pulled yesterday, Josh?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I absolutely stayed off of Twitter. Essentially, if any news was posted yesterday on social media, I didn't buy it. And so it was mostly just, yeah, okay, now's a good day to stay off of the internet, because, and we talked about this a little bit, it seems like nowadays every day could be April Fool's on social media. There's so many fake stories and fake accounts and even real accounts being posted by paid, quote unquote, credible sources like Shams that end up being fake news. So who knows what is what, but it was just way over the top yesterday with fake stories.
I was walking in the hallway here yesterday and heard somebody say something about potentially adding tolls to Wisconsin interstates. And for a hot second, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, no. Now what can we hold Illinois to in terms of them sucking and we're better than them, specifically when it comes to driving and tolls? And then I realized it was fake. And I left the building because I'm like, this day
they got you
is not a good day. I can't. I'm too soft and I am too gullible for April Fool's Day. I'm out.
Yeah.
Luckily, that's the only thing I saw. I didn't retweet anything. I didn't come out of my head on anything, react to anything. It was the only thing.
Yeah. Yesterday for you was a good day to go to bed early.
I went to bed early, and I also took a really solid nap yesterday. Kind of shut everything off, which I do about once a week. It was really nice. And then watched the Brewer game, and man, my son last night, who plays football, said, Dad, what didn't CB Buckner's helmet help him? And I was like, dude, you take a baseball coming 100 miles an hour off your face mask in football. You don't think that's going to ring your bell? And he goes, good point.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Almost for sure he's in the concussion protocol. All right, you're caught up as we transition to I Have Questions here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. How do you watch the Brewers baseball season? Do you take it game by game? Do you take it series by series? I had a conversation earlier this season. When do we really start paying attention if you're kind of a laissez-faire fan? Is it not till the second half of the season? How do you take in Brewers baseball? And with that, then, how do you gauge the results? We're off to a 5-1 start and 2 series wins. Are you following pitch by pitch, game by game, series by series, or, the Brewers started playing? That's right. I forgot all about that. We'll analyze and answer your questions as well on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250, when we return live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The best of mornings to all of you in Duluth Superior on 710 The Game. Wausau, good morning, 93.9 The Game. Green Bay and the Fox Valley, 99.7 FM WNFL and 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan in Milwaukee. Everybody dealing with a little bit of different weather this morning. In Milwaukee, Josh?
Heavy rain. Heavy rain.
Green Bay, freezing rain. A little bit of rain when I was on the way into work this morning. Roads were wet, but it was 32 degrees. We all know what happens at 32 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Wausau, how are you guys this morning? Completely different ball game in central Wisconsin where there is an ice warning. I don't know if I've ever experienced an ice warning. How's it going over there? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Here in Green Bay and the Valley and up in Duluth Superior, a winter storm or winter weather advisory. Wisconsin's having a hot mess of a day in regard to weather. That is going to come up later in the show as well. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and we have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. You have questions, we have answers. No guarantees they're right, but we will act like they are.
Yeah, we'll tell you we're right.
Every day. And often you tell us we're wrong. And so that's no different than today. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Josh, after the Brewer game yesterday, Pat Murphy answered some questions.
Yeah, Murph was asked kind of what he took away from the first 6 games of the season, and here's what he had to say.
I think the education, the learning that they have of, how games go, how you do get behind sometimes, whatever. And I like the education of, like, if you put the ball on the ground sometimes and bunt, or you're efficient stealing bases, it can cause some havoc.
Did you see the bunt yesterday?
I did the perfect bunt. Yeah.
The ball off of Christian Yelich's bat stopped on the third base line. About, a third of the way up?
Yeah, teetering on that line.
About as perfect as you can do it. And so that's what Murph is excited about. The players being educated and getting better and noticing what we call small ball Brewers baseball looks like. And they've got a really good team, according to Bryce Terang.
It was a good homestand. We showed every style of game with the homers, the stolen bases, the walks, hit by pitches, all that stuff. So we got a really good team, and when we play like that, it's going to be really hard to beat us.
He's not wrong.
Clearly, 5-1 on the year.
Not wrong.
So with that being said, and with the first road trip upon the Milwaukee Brewers, how are we as fans taking in the season this early? A 5-1 start and good Brewers baseball. 2 eighth inning, 6-run games. 6 runs in the 8th, twice already. So are we living pitch by pitch already? Are we contemplating on what a series looks like? I mean, simple math would tell you if we win 2/3 of our games, my prediction would come true. They would have over 100 wins in baseball. Or are we just kind of taking it day by day, news by news? Oh, did the Brewers win last night? Or did the Brewers win yesterday? Or do the Brewers play today? That's not how I'm taking in the season. We're curious how you are. How do you watch Brewers baseball this time of year? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Josh, you mentioned yesterday that you're already living and dying pitch by pitch.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily pitch by pitch, but I'm all in. Like, it's usually at this point in seasons past, like this point last season, it was, it's April. Guys, it's April. Like, literally yesterday was the first day of April. We got a whole month of us being able to say, it's April. Calm down. Don't need to worry about it. It's April. And before April was even here, I was dialed in. And it was just because this team is playing the same way that they were playing during the highlights of last season, showing who they could be. And that's exciting. I think also there's something that goes along with it being you're excited that baseball's back. And then when your team's doing well, it just elevates it more. Right? Last year, we were excited baseball was back. But then the Brewers were getting clobbered. And they were literally in the news for getting destroyed by the Yankees. And it was like, all right, I'm glad baseball's back. But boy, this might be a rough year. And then obviously it turned around. So I think that can be a little bit of a reminder of, hey, you started really poorly last year and then you won 97 games. Just because you're 5-1 now doesn't mean that there aren't going to be ebbs and flows and that you're going to struggle throughout the season. It's a long, long season. So I think that's why we ask the question, how do you watch these games? Are you looking at it by series, by homestand? I think you can obviously every day I look at each individual game. They won, they lost. Yay, boo. But then beyond that, I think I look series. Win the series. I don't think I'd break it out to homestand. I'm not looking at what their monthly record was. I think I'm just looking series. It's kind of those, if you win every series, you're doing well. You don't got to sweep everyone, but if you're winning them, that's good.
I'm kind of with the 414 that just texted in on the Nicolay Law talk-in text line. Feel free to call us too, by the way. 414-677-1250. The 414 says, definitely already miss them when they have a day off. But everything is very exciting right now.
Yeah, that's why you miss it. No offense, but if they started at 1-5, you might have been like, that's okay. Take a Thursday. We'll see you again on Friday. I'm okay with that.
For me, it's game by game, and if not pitch by pitch. I'm already looking at the schedule, and I'm looking at this next stand at Kansas City. Friday, that's tomorrow, at 6:45. All right, where am I going to be Friday at 6:45? It's Good Friday. I have a dinner with my family at 5 o'clock. 6:45, I'll be in the car. Perfect.
Sure.
On the radio it is, the Brewers Radio Network. I'm in, pitch by pitch. I will have the game on my phone if I'm someplace later tomorrow night to make sure that I watch it if there's not a TV available.
Sure, but I think these are two separate things, right? Like I think a lot of people now the Brewers season's starting, they're watching every game. They're looking at each individual game. But when you're judging the team, like are you going up down with every win and loss, or are you that's holding point, yourself Josh. Back and going,
no,
hey, they still won the series.
Up, down, game by game, pitch by pitch. That's what I'm saying.
So if they would have won the series against the White Sox, but not come back and won that game, you would have been bummed.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm explaining. I'm game by game and pitch by pitch. I look at each game and know exactly where I'm going to be and how I'm going to watch it. And I rise and fall with the team. I have the mentality just like Skip does. Win tonight. That's where I'm at. I watch this Brewers game with everything I have in my sports being. And I did that all summer long last year too. It's probably in my adulthood where I've landed in regard to how we watch Brewers baseball, especially when they're playing good. But I think I was that way when I was a kid, too, just at a different level, obviously. We lived pretty close to County Stadium. I think it was about a 35-minute drive from where I was growing up. I'm a game-by-game, pitch-by-pitch, high, low type of fan. That's where I want to be with the Brewers.
Man, this early in the season, I'm definitely not taking every loss as a crushing loss. I can still find that positive and go, they won the series. That's good. I'm not saying I take it as a crushing loss, but I do look for opportunities to improve in a loss. That's why I mentioned earlier, I don't know that I like these 6-run bottom of the 8th innings. They're great. I'm a fan. But in order for that to be sustainable, we're going to have to, winning that is, we're going to have to score earlier and more often in the games. The ones that we win need to be earlier in the game. We're not going to be able to sustain 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th for the entire season. And so that's kind of how I look at it, going, all right,
We're 2 series in. We've done that twice. What are we learning per Murph? And what do we have to take away from these 2 games to improve on as we hit the road?
Boy, you sound like a realist right now. All right, let me bring some optimism in here. That's how baseball usually goes, though. I feel like the point of it, maybe not 6 runs in the 8th, but I feel like for the most part, it's the runs come later in the game because that's when you've gotten to the bullpen. You've gotten their starter out of the game.
Tell that to the Brewers' opponents who seem to score on us in the first inning on the regular basis.
That's true, but they don't get us out of the game. They get a home run. What did who was it? Woodruff? Said something about don't worry about the solo shots. You're giving up the solo shot. That's not going to be the one that hurts you. I mean, that's kind of the mentality, right? They give up that one that sucks watching as a fan, but then they settle in and they go 4 or 5.
So speaking of Woody, that's the other way I watch Brewers baseball, specifically the home games. I look at the giveaways. If you've been watching Brewers baseball over the first few games here, you'll see Jeff Levering and Bill Schroeder in the booth talking ad nauseum about the Jacob Mizorowski trading card bobblehead giveaway on Saturday, April 11th. There is 1 flame in the top right-hand corner of this trading card bobblehead. And they talked all week about how there needs to be more flames because the Miz just throws harder and there needs to be more. Yesterday during the game, they had a great conversation with Woody and talked about that very thing. Woody said, I agree. They need more flames on that bobblehead that's coming out for the Miz. But we talked about this weeks ago. Do you know the bobblehead that's coming later in the season for Brandon Woodruff?
Yes. Oh, and it's a must get.
I've never wanted a bobblehead more.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised it took so long.
The set of Inside Wisconsin has bobbleheads galore, and I have a story for all of them. There's one missing, and it's the greatest sports moment of my life. It's the greatest call that Jeff Levering said he's ever been a part of. It was the greatest game I've ever been at. And that moment when Woody hit a home run off of Clayton Kershaw in game 1 of the NLCS in 2018 will be hard to top in my book. The only thing I can think of is a World Series victory or a Super Bowl victory that will trump this for me. That's the only thing.
Probably.
All right, let's go to the phones. Who called in, Josh?
This is Damien in Caledonia.
Damien, how do you watch Brewers baseball this season? Game by game, series by series, or we'll worry about it later?
So baseball is kind of, in my mind, kind of a little unique in that because they have 162 games, it's hard to live and die by each individual game. But if it's a close game, like against the Cubs, and it's 5-4 or something, I'm kind of watching pitch by pitch. If it's another rivalry game, like, I don't know, the Cardinals, I'm hoping we get the series. But for the most part, in general, I take in Brewer baseball as a whole, like from Monday through Sunday. How did they do over that 6-7 games? And as long as they can get 4-3, 5-2, that generally means they're winning the series and they're having a good stretch and a good run. So that's kind of how I kind of look at it, because like football is 16, 17 games. You're living and dying by each game. You can't really do that with baseball or you'll give yourself a heart attack.
Interesting. Thanks for the call, Damien. I appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? I think that's a really good point he brought up too about like rivalry games. You know, like when you face the Cubs or the Pirates or the Cardinals 25 times in a season, if you lost that series, it wasn't as big of a deal. But when you know that you're going to have another competitive team throughout the year in your division, it makes those 2 or 3 times when you're facing them, the stakes are way higher, right? You need those for tiebreaker games. So that's a good point. Those games probably are a little bit different.
The 608 says, I'm of the mindset game by game and seeing if they won the series. Meaning if they lose 2 in a row against a 3-game series, man.
Right.
Versus, we won 1, lost 1, won 1, just like we just did with the Rays. So it is by the series and ultimately by game, but that's how this person watches it in the 608 on the Nicolay Law Talk-In text line. 414-677-1250. How are you already watching Brewers baseball? Game by game, pitch by pitch, series by series, week by week. Or, oh, yeah, they started playing. That's right.
The 920 says, right now everybody is talking about the Brewers on a high note. Wait a month when they're on a 5-game skid, and we will all be talking about what are we going to do now. Yeah, okay. That is the roller coaster, though, right? That's the emotional roller coaster of the baseball season. And that's why I said it's really nice right now. It's really, really easy to be happy and celebrate. Not only is baseball back, but it's elevated because our team's winning. Those skids are coming.
Based on that point, that's how that person watches, ironically, right? So right now, on a high note, we're all cheering on the Brewers and really excited about the season. Well, when that 5-game skid comes at some point, because it's going to happen, do you really get negative? Do you have the high highs and the low lows? For this person, it's like, oh, great. Here we go. 5 games in a row. We lost. One more on the Nicolay Law Talking text line before we take a break, 414-677-1250, and we'll come back with the most electrifying sound of the day, and looky there. It has to do with the Milwaukee Brewers. The 608 says, I agree, win every series and make sure you have a winning month. Great start, which gets you excited. Better than losing the first 6, that will give you. Bryce Terang and a home run yesterday for a guy that is just amazing at the plate, even better in the field. Some great plays, some great swings. And how long is he going to be a Brewer? Well, let's take it in while we can. The most electrifying sound of the day is next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day
The most electrifying
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Fly ball left center. Back is Mullins. He won't catch this one. It's gone, and we're tied. First of the year for Bryce Terang, and that was a nuke.
Well, the kid's coming into his own, isn't he? As a hitter, he's always been there as a defender. This incredible opposite field power for Bryce Terang. Doubles, home runs. He's got the speed for triples. Oh, what a hitter he's become.
Bryce Terang's home run call, courtesy of Jeff Levering, Bill Schroeder, and Brewers TV, is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. Man, Trevor, Bill Schroeder, Rock, describing perfectly where Bryce Terang is at there after that home run. Just talking about how he's always been a great defender, but finding his own at the plate. Didn't matter if it's a line drive double or knocking the ball oppo out of the park. And it really makes you think, how long are we enjoying Bryce Terang in Milwaukee?
Yeah, pretty much. Schroeder said there, what a hitter Bryce Terang has become. Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
Remember, he's always been a Brewer. 2018, 21st overall draft pick in the first round. Made his debut with Milwaukee in 2023. He was here for a bit, got optioned in Nashville on June 7th, and then recalled on June 29th, and the rest is history. That season, he batted .218 with 6 home runs, 34 RBIs, and 26 stolen bases in 137 games. 2024, he batted .254 with 7 home runs, 57 RBIs, almost twice as many stolen bases in 155 games. 2025, last season, 288, 18 home runs, 81 RBIs, fewer stolen bases, but it's because he got to trot around the bases more often last year than ever before.
Right.
Do you know what he's off to in terms of an average this year?
Oh, no.
Take
I
a
don't.
guess.
360.
No. Higher.
Okay. 420.
A little bit lower. 409. 409. 9 hits, 22 at-bats, and yesterday, his first dinger of the season. Which is really good news, by the way, because I don't want to say non-existent, but the Bryce Terang that batted .288 with 18 homers and 81 RBIs, that wasn't the Bryce Terang we had in the playoffs last year, especially against the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs are a whole different beast. You could say the same. People have been saying the same thing, and for good reason, about Yelich for years. You know, but to just see him, Terang that is, continue to get better is a huge positive. Until I start thinking like you with Giannis and going, yeah, but he's gone. I don't see a world in which the Brewers can convince Terang to sign some type of deal to stay here. And there's no way they weren't already talking about it if there was.
Well, that's why I said enjoy it while it lasts. That's kind of the way it is in Wisconsin sports. Somebody texted earlier on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Keep your thoughts coming. The 920 says, we're from Wisconsin. Get prepared for heartbreak in October. Okay. Realism at its finest. It has not been a great run of Brewers baseball in making it to the big games.
Realism. One team wins it all. 2 teams go to the World Series. The Brewers were almost one of those 2 teams.
Yeah, that's where the heartbreak came from.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the odds are that's gonna happen almost every year. Like that's sports, man.
The Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump is coming up next. We have questions and concerns, frankly, about how often in sports, at sporting events, or maybe just in life in general, we're asked to tip. This came up yesterday in conversation in regard to the pricing at concession stands and overall tickets and all the fees that come along with that, and have sports price themselves out of the middle class. Well, then, not only did you spend a gazillion dollars on your hot dog and your drink or your nachos or popcorn or ticket to get in the damn thing. Oh, yeah, here, 18, 20, or 22%.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
For what? So do you tip on food and drinks at concession stands? If so, how much? When you don't tip, how does that go?
This is going to be a fun conversation.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. The Malott Meats Morning Mind Dump is next. Reminder, if you miss any part of today's show, fear not, my friends. Inside Wisconsin Sports is also a podcast. Head to wisportsradio.com or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, you name it, we're there. Any part of the show, any hour, any segment, anytime, whenever it works best for you. Just search Inside Wisconsin Sports and follow along as we talk next. Tipping at concession stands. How about no? Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Drive safe this morning, everybody. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Let me ask you a question about the tip cup, because I had a little thing with the calzone guy there this week. I go to drop a buck in the tip jar, and just as I'm about to drop it in, he looks the other way. So then, as I'm leaving, he gives me a look like, thanks for nothing.
You got no credit.
Exactly. It's like I'm throwing a buck away. I mean, if they don't notice it, what's the point?
So you don't make a habit of giving to the blind.
Not bills.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back. Hour 2 of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Such a classic sitcom from yesteryear, Seinfeld, where George bought a bunch of calzones for George Steinbrenner and one day thought, well, the guy's not seeing my tip, so how in the world am I going to get credit for tipping him if he doesn't see that I'm tipping him? Because then he gives me this look that I'm not tipping him, even though I tipped him, but he was looking the other way. Back when we used to use dollar bills to tip. Wasn't that fun? And now it's all digital. And so as we kick off today's Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump, the processing we're undertaking is, do you tip on food and drink at a concession stand? And if not, where do you, how do you, when do we tip and when do we not? Time for the Morning Mind Dump.
I have voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. The Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump comes from a conversation we started yesterday about concession stand prices and ticket prices. And just prices in general when it comes to sports. How much to park? How much to buy food and drink? How much to get in? And all the other times that they nickel and dime you to death within a game, but we all know that's going to happen. Over the years, how we obtain food and drink at sporting events has changed. My favorite part of Brewers games when I was a kid and still likely as an adult is the beer hawker guy. Beer hip. Ice cold beer hip.
Yep.
There was a guy at the Timber Rattlers for years that had a whole shtick that he did out loud, and it was phenomenal. It was a presentation.
Do you know about the Iceman at Brewer games?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Who?
The Iceman he's not, I think he retired now. His name is Ken. He's the Iceman. He's a beer vendor. He'd go into the, it was usually the bleachers, but he would be in there. He'd have it around his neck, a bucket, and he would, beer here. And when someone would call for one, he would say, "Did you bring your gloves? Because they're ice cold." And everyone would, and then he would go, "Yo," and everyone in the crowd would go, "Yo." He made a whole thing about it. They literally made a bobblehead for, like the Brewers made a bobblehead for the Iceman. That's not on your
well, no, because all the bobbleheads I have on the Inside Wisconsin set are personal stories. I have a story to all of these. So I don't know who the Iceman is up until this moment. Now that I do, I've never interacted with them. I don't have a personal story, but that's the story we're talking about, Josh. The guys like that who made it a presentation and that you wanted to tip because it was awesome. Well, now you go up to a concession stand and they present you with a little thinger because it's all cashless now.
Mm-hmm.
And you tap or whatever you do. And immediately it asks you how much you want to tip. And it typically says, in my experience, 18, 20, 22%, or 20, 22, 25%. And then there's an other button. And if you hit that other button to go less than whatever it is that they're giving you as an option, you're immediately feeling guilty. At least I am. And so how do we process this?
So what do you do? What's your move?
It depends.
But okay, I'll paint a scenario. It's in the middle of the third, and it's your time to buy a round and a hot dog. And you go up to you are out of your seat. You went to the bathroom. On your way back, you're getting 3 beers and a hot dog from a concession stand. What do you do?
Well, which concession stand? And that's part of my mind up. We have these self-service stands now. They're at AmFam Field. They're at Lambeau Field, where you walk up, you go through the little whatever entrance, you open up the cooler doors on your own, you grab the beers, you grab whatever, you walk up to the thing. There's a person standing there making sure you don't have any problems. You scan your own items, and then up comes the screen. Tip. There's literally a tip option for the self-service concession stand.
Okay.
And there's a person standing right next to you, watching you, who is working there, doing their job, and fairly dependent on tips to make it all go. So in that scenario, I tip less, but I still tip. It's certainly not 20%. I tip 20% at a restaurant. I tip 20% if I've sat at a bar. No, that's not true. If I sat at a bar for anything longer than 3 hours, I'm tipping whatever I have left and probably more, because that's you hit a home run if you serve me the right drinks. I'll put it that way. Don't we all do that though? If we're out drinking, we all tip more.
That's a different scenario. Right.
But these scenarios
but this is at the ball. Like we're talking about at a sporting event.
Right.
Right. So self-service is one thing. Let's say you're going, it's not self-service. You're at a stand and you see that and it says 18, 20, 22%.
Again, it depends on the type of service. That's what tipping is. Am I wrong on that? So if I walk up and there's great service and smiles and funs and laughs and all the things, and typically at sporting events, there's a sign. I'll use the Packers as an example. There's a sign hanging somewhere by the concession stand that tells you what group they're a part of or what nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't see it, I typically ask, hey, are you guys just employees or are you here for a nonprofit? Are you trying to raise funds? That drives how much I tip because I know that goes directly to that organization. But if it's a worker, with all due respect to those that work on game days and the experience is just check the box, then I tip a couple bucks. $3-4, even though the bill was probably 50. But are people really tipping 20, 22% no matter what? Are you just hitting the button and moving on? Because per the conversation yesterday, the prices aren't going down to buy this stuff. So let's just say the round that you just talked about is $60. Do you tip 20% on $60 after you bought 2 beers, a hot dog, and a thing of popcorn?
Well,
that's the process.
No,
I don't
that's
know.
not 60. That's $60. God, I guess I don't know. I got to think about how much a beer is. A lot of times, I'll be honest, I'm not in a mindset to where I'm doing math on the fly of what things are.
So you just hit the button.
I'm saying in my head to add up what the total is. I'm just saying, yeah, that's a problem for tomorrow, Josh. But I always do custom. And I always do custom. I don't care if they're looking at me. And it usually depends on what if your job was to hand me 3 beers, okay, then it's like $1 or $2 a beer. Boom, 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 done. And like that's how I'm doing. Like you didn't have to pour it. Wasn't a draft. There wasn't like, all right, was it, did you make it, was there too much foam? Not enough? Like There's no judging of that in the service. It was slid a beer, cracked it open, there you go. Slid a beer, cracked it open, there you go. Slid a beer, cracked it open, there you go. Tip me. And so for those, that's why I always go custom. I think also there's something about, like, I would rather do custom and give my brain a second to think about what the percentages are than just go 18% and then not realize, oh, that was an extra $22 I just tipped. What am I doing? Like, to try to avoid that in that moment, I'll always go custom. Like, I've trained my brain to hit that custom button immediately.
So is that the norm? Do most people hit custom, or are you just hitting one of the percentages, or is there a right and wrong answer to this? Help us process, would you please? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Call it, text it. Let us know your thoughts on this. How do you approach it? And are there differing situations like I explained? Or is it really just the custom button like Josh said? Or are you just, well, no, these people need to make a living. And all of this came out of COVID because everything's cashless now. You don't touch anybody anymore or exchange cash and dirty your hands, which is a whole different argument, by the way.
I think it is about the service, though. Like, if you order a pizza from a pizza chain to be delivered to your house, there's an option. It says add delivery tip, like tip your driver, and I will always say no, and then have cash ready to give that guy because you haven't delivered my pizza yet. Like, I'm not going to include a tip, and then the pizza's late, or you're missing an item or something else. You get it there on time. Yeah, hey. Here's $5. Here's $10. Here's whatever. But
what if it wasn't the delivery driver's fault? What if it came out of the oven late and it was late because of whatever happened at the shop?
Totally. That sucks.
You know it's crazy.
But then I'm not giving you a tip.
What about when you go pick up food?
It depends. It depends a lot usually on, like, I usually will if it's like if I'm picking up a Friday night fish fry, like I love going to Henry Flock's or the steakhouse we talk about all the time. They're swamped, right? And so even though I'm getting that to go, like, everyone's running around like crazy people in there. And I'm like, yeah, thank you for packaging this up and taking theirs for me.
Do you hit other, or is that 20%?
No, it's always other. I always hit custom.
You never do the 20.
I never hit the buttons. I might end up having it equate to 18 or 20%, but I never just hit the button. I always hit custom to give myself 12 seconds to calm down and do a little bit of mental math before.
Does this grind your gears?
It out. The fact that they just have the buttons, yeah. I get it, because for a lot of people that just don't want to do math or don't care about math, it's we've done the math for you. Here you go. And trust me, I actually like, if I go out and I sit at a restaurant, I like when it says 18, 20, 22%, when it does the math for you on the receipt. That I like. But also, I enjoyed a meal. There was a server. It wasn't just I picked something up and walked away. So those times are a little bit different. But especially if I'm at a stadium or something of the sort, I'm always hitting custom and then figuring it out from there.
Before we get a lot of feedback on the Nicolay Law talk and text line, 414-677-1250, there's a lot here. The last one in regards to tips that totally drives me crazy is the automatic gratuity. I don't understand.
What, for like large groups?
Anytime it's 6 or more or 8 or more, it really depends on the establishment. And then it also depends on the time of day. I've been to places where you're a table of 4, but because they're so busy, they just add gratuity. That drives me ballistic. I hate that.
I don't know that I can remember a lot of situations where it's been less than 6. I don't mind the gratuity being on it when you have a large group. I think it makes it easy. I think it makes it easier for me, because then, especially if I'm splitting the bill or I'm Venmoing someone money, I don't got to worry about, all right, well, how much is tip? How much are you tipping? Am I tipping? What? It's all in there already.
But that's when the service goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? Like you just said it, and I said the same thing. It's based on the situation and the service. But when it's groups, does that not count anymore?
I don't know. I feel like it's different if you have a large group. Have you served tables? I haven't. I haven't been a server. I got friends that very much are in that industry, and you learn. They have helped me learn that world. And so it's, yeah, when you got a large group, like I don't mind it.
414-677-1250 to the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line we go in the Malott Meats Morning Mind Dump. The 920 says, well, you and me both, bud. Normally, when I'm drinking and got a little buzz going, I tip a lot more, even if it's a beer or a hot dog. Yeah, you and me both. Pretty much all of us. I don't know the person, unless they're an angry drunk, that tips less after drinking. I think that's kind of a normal thing. The 920, I used to tip the beer vendors, but I refuse to tip at the counter when they just hand it to you. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. Josh, what do you see?
I'm looking at a few here. There's one from the 920 that said, tipping is out of control. As a former server, the tipping is for service. Handing someone a beer is not service. Standing by a checkout is not service. Why should a waitress who's literally served you for 45 minutes at a restaurant get the same percentage of someone who's opened a beer? Tipping culture is out of control.
Is anybody listening a worker at one of these stations or stands? And how does that process work on your end? We would like to know. That might actually really help us process this in the Morning Mind Dump. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. The 262 says, always custom. The worst is the areas where you grab your own beers and what? No tip for that. I know someone's dad works at these stands and they make like $20 an hour just to stand there.
Right.
The 920 says $52.22 for 2 cocktails at a Brewers game. $5 left. Sorry, I cannot go customary tip when a standard drink is $5 to $7 outside of a game experience. Jacob Devan says, if we are both standing during the transaction, I'm not tipping. That's funny. If we're both standing during the transaction, I'm not tipping.
All right, so if you see Jacob at a van, tell him, sit down.
That's the only way you're going to get a tip. I think what he means is if I'm sitting in a seat,
right,
and a beer or something comes to me. But Jacob, are you not tipping at all when you go up to the stand? Like, unless you sit down. Like, is that a thing? You don't tip at all? And maybe that's not shame, by the way. I just think it's rare now.
I think you're right. I think it is. That's why, like this person in the 262 says, I have to use the custom button like Josh. I get sucked into the buttons at AmFam. So it's the same thing. There's pressure, too. There's pressure when you're standing there to get out of there. And so it's easier to just hit a button and walk away. You hit that custom button, now you're locking yourself in for a little bit more. If people feel that anxiety, they go, oh, God, now what? There are people behind me. They're trying to check out. Yeah, 80%. And then they walk away. No, take your time, take a breath, hit that custom button.
The 262 says, I've been to places that gave us crap service on a big group because gratuity was already included. Well, then we leave a review. It doesn't save money, but it gives them public feedback at least. Have you ever left a nasty public review, Josh?
I haven't. I've said things to like owners or managers, like if they stop by the table. Julie hates it. Julie's so non-confrontational. I'm like, especially, again, having friends in the industry, they'd much rather have you tell them about the experience then and try to make it right than have you go and put out a nasty review when you never even, gave the restaurant an opportunity to make it right.
The 920 says, if somewhere is cashless, I make it a point to never spend any money there. Well, you must be parched. And lastly, the 815. What about when they tip, including the tax? And some area restaurants, taxes and so forth, let's say 10 to 15%. So now I'm tipping the federal government for taxing me. That's fascinating. If you look at the total on a bill, sometimes you mentioned pizza delivery earlier.
Yeah.
There's a delivery fee. Or if you ever use Uber Eats or
Right.
DoorDash, there's a delivery fee. And then there's this fee or that fee. Or maybe they give you the 3% credit card fee and you pay it instead of the place actually covering it like it always used to be. Man,
Yeah,
it's a slippery slope.
It is. It's interesting. I will tell you, though, specifically at sporting events, I feel like the reason why it's most difficult is because especially if you got out of your seat You want to get back to your seat as soon as you can. There are people behind you, and they feed off of that. They know that. So we'll make it easier for you. 3 buttons. You choose one. And you can't do it. You can't do it. You gotta go custom, or you go no tip. I have done that if it's like I'm going up multiple times. This is my 3rd or 4th time going there. I'm like, listen, I've given 3 tips. I'm skipping this one. Like, I have done that.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Sounds like a lot of opportunity to be better. And Josh and I have put together a list of things we've seen of recent memory where there are opportunities to be better. That's the new segment, and it is next. Be Better on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time to answer the question, who needs to be better? Is it a team?
I need to be better for our team.
A coach?
I got to be better as a coach.
A player?
I got to be better. We got to be better. Just facts.
Let us know who you think has to be better. Brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Show people your business is better. Get BBB accredited with the Better Business Bureau at bbb.org.
That's right. It's time to answer the question, who needs to be better? Brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. 87% of accredited businesses say the BBB accreditation helps their business gain credibility with customers. If you want to showcase your business as a better business, get BBB accredited. Learn more at bbb.org. All right, I'm going to start this off. There has been rumors flying. And so this is a preemptive one. I don't know if this is for sure yet, but if those are the Brewers City Connect jerseys, boy, oh boy, we got to be better. What is that color scheme? If I'm seeing in a photo and it looks like it's a Mets jersey that says Wisco, be better. I don't understand that at all. And I understand that there are rules and you can't just put everything out there. But I mean, at the very least, you go with a different Wisconsin team's color scheme? What's blue and orange? I don't understand. Be better. That's rough. And I buy all the gear. That one's rough.
Have we figured out if that was real or not?
I have not yet. I have not. No word has come out. But now there was a second photo that came to light of a hat that looks like it goes with the jersey.
Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to be fired for leaking that, because if there's a story behind what that looks like and says, which there is, none of this stuff is just, let's do that. There's thought and planning and reasoning. And for that to get leaked like that is,
yeah, not good.
CB Buckner has had a bad week of work. Bad couple weeks of work. However, let's give him a little grace, because this happened yesterday. Listen to this.
Ooh, that got CB Buckner, and he is down.
Yeah, that was a direct shot. Look out. Yikes.
Immediately, the Brewers trainer Lee Myers is out to check on CB Buckner. That was a direct shot right off of his mask.
And those can't be surprised if he continued.
And it looks like he's not.
Yeah, that was a direct shot.
Woof. Yeah.
Okay. Our thoughts are with CB Buckner. We hope that you recovered quickly from whatever it is that happened, whether you got a concussion or, I don't know. It looked terrible, right? When you're all recovered and you're feeling better, oh my God, be better at your job.
Okay.
For real.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah. I got to say, though, and I brought this up yesterday, there were people like Brandon Stein, when we crossed over with him, who said, no, CB Buckner's in a league of his own, giving him a lot of crap. I don't feel bad at all. I went, I do a little bit. Guy's having a rough start to the season, okay? And now, in what I thought would be his opportunity to make up for it and go, okay, let's get us back on track here behind the plate, he gets nailed in the face mask. I mean, anyone who celebrated that, come on, be better.
Mm-hmm.
Be better. That's not right. And also, I don't understand where that anger is coming from. Even though he messed up the call, the Brewers won. Like it's wins, right? Like they won the series.
I think he's okay off of whatever it was that happened in regard to, he was rough behind the plate a few games ago. He made some bad calls, right? The Brewers won. And I think he's got a headache today, I would guess.
Yeah, but if you're celebrating that, be better. Come on.
Well, I'm not celebrating that, but I am bummed for a few reasons. One, don't want to see that happen to a person. But two, I really thought it was going to be a terrible day for him behind the plate, and I wanted to watch some arguments.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, when you feel better, be better.
There you go. Hey, Caleb Durbin, bud, I need you to be better. I feel terrible for you too. There are a lot of people going, man, look at how the Brewers fleeced that trade. They crushed it. He's 0 for 18. Man, it's him being better is not going to hurt the Brewers. I don't mind if that's a part of a trade that ended up being good for both sides. But even if you want it to be super in the Brewers' favor of who won the trade, him not having a hit at this point, that's rough. Come on, man. Be better.
Earlier in the week, the NFC head coaches had a breakfast, and they chatted for a little while and gave us some pretty good nuggets of information, specifically Matt LaFleur, talking about the players and the disgruntledness and the bad grade he got. And yet, of all of the opportunities for technology in our world, there was one microphone in front of him that had a G on it, and nowhere have we seen that video with quality audio for us to present to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, NFL, be better.
Is that the NFL, though? I was curious about that.
Absolutely. This is at the annual NFL meetings, and the NFL provides the opportunity to sit down at the NFL annual meetings and talk to the head coaches in the NFL. There's opportunity for them to be better and make sure that when an interview opportunity presents itself and all of the beat writers are in Phoenix and all of the media is covering the conversation, you're telling me you don't have the technology to give us some clean audio and video? Bull. Be better.
Yeah. The Wisconsin weather needs to be better. The weather needs to be better, man. I don't know what is going on across the state. And I know it's April showers bring May flowers, but it's not just a rain. People getting snow. We're still waiting to hear from Duluth Superior. We even heard from them this morning. Are they digging themselves out of things? Are they not able to go to work? Wisconsin weather, be better. I got to bring out shorts the other day. And then I had to go back to pants. I want to keep shorts. Be better, please.
At this moment, there's an ice warning in the state of Wisconsin,
a
winter weather advisory in the state of Wisconsin, a winter weather warning in the state of Wisconsin, and all of you down in southeast and southwest and really just south central Wisconsin later today have a significant risk of tornadoes and severe thunderstorms.
Right.
Well, let's just check all the boxes in one day, shall we?
Be better.
Jay Glazer is at the NFL annual meetings and was on social media yesterday with a little selfie video that sounded like this.
Okay, got it.
All right, we have our annual NFL.
So it's him with a selfie video, just kind of showing all of us, all of the NFL head coaches, or I should say 28 of the 32 NFL head coaches having a day drinking event. And now in Jay Glazer's defense, he gets these guys together and does this event and goes around the room, but shows all of us who's all there. 28 of the 32 NFL head coaches had a day drinking event together. And he showed it. Listen, I'm all about peeking behind the cheddar curtain. I love that part of sports. But I don't want to know that head coaches are friends. I don't want to see them having fun together. I want them to choke slam each other. I want my sports to be about winning and losing. I get it. They're human beings and they want to have culture and be friends. Well, I don't need to know about it. So Jay Glazer, be better.
That one didn't bother me, seeing that clip. Okay. The last one I have is for the Bucs organization. I know that we've said that for a while that the Bucs need to be better, right? And at this point, I don't know that I want the product on the floor for the rest of this season to be better. But as an organization, you're losing the fan base. The fan base is very confused. They have been for a while. They don't know what's going to happen next. You got to be better to the fans. Put something out, do something. It seems like right now they're just continuing to do the same things they always do, but with players you've never heard of, because they're just putting out the rookies and the young guns on the court, and they're like, hey, but look at this guy, huh? And I'm like, no one's buying that. Bucks, You are having ticket prices, which we've talked about earlier today, as if the Bucks just won a championship. Those prices haven't come down since 2021, and yet you're not giving me anything to hang my hat on to go, no, I still want to go to a Bucks game. Absolutely. Bucks organization, be better.
I just got an email from Ticket King. I buy a lot of tickets for events on the secondary market because I just wait and buy the seats that I want. Sometimes it works in my favor, sometimes not so much. If you want to go to a Bucks game, per Josh's point, tickets start against the Celtics tomorrow night at $23 a ticket. The Grizzlies, $13 a ticket. And the final home game of the year against the Nets, tickets start at $13.
Yeah, and see what that is, that pricing, with it being more for the Celtics, that's how it was for years. It was based on who the opponent was, not based on the Bucks. It was, well, you're not coming to see the Bucks, you're coming to see who the Bucks are going to play. Is that what we're going back to with this Milwaukee Bucks organization? Be better. Woof.
Josh thinks I need to be better when it comes to my home furniture.
True.
We had a conversation the other day about how we watch sporting events and or just relax.
Well, you were talking about our friend Rob Zerja, who is recovering.
Yeah, and also sleeping, right?
Yeah, and you said he can't sleep in a bed.
Because he had rotator cuff surgery. And when you have rotator cuff surgery, you're required to sleep in a recliner. And I said, I don't have a recliner.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact,
you said that Rob had to buy one just for that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's crazy that he didn't have a recliner. And you said, well, I don't have a recliner.
I don't have a single thing in my house that reclines other than a lawn chair.
Trevor, be better.
We'll talk about it next. The woes of furniture, apparently, and how it bothers Josh. But I can't be the only one. Am I the only one without a recliner? If I am buying one today. I just don't know where we're going to put it because I'm not in charge of the setup in the living room. That's a whole different story. Love you.
Maybe it's not in the living room. Maybe it's in the garage. Maybe it's in the basement.
If you saw my garage, you actually might go, oh, this is a perfect place for a recliner.
That's what I'm saying.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. In your opinion, what needs to be better? You tell us. We'll be back in a bit. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Wendy's has the official dunks of March Madness, which means you get the iconic chocolate frosty paired with fries. It's the perfect opportunity to dunk crispy, salty fries into a decadent chocolate frosty. It gets even better because when you order from the official Dunks menu, you'll automatically be entered for a chance to win a variety of prizes during March Madness. Order from the official Dunks menu today. Download the Wendy's app for the official Dunks menu for a chance to win big this March Madness.
It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We had Rob Zerjav on the other day from the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and our guy just had some rotator cuff surgery, and he can't sleep in a bed. If you've ever had shoulder surgery, you know that you can't lay down. Your weight can't be on your shoulders or the back of your shoulders, or you just can't lay down.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know that and was forced to go and buy a recliner because he didn't have one. To which I said, neither do I. And to which Josh said, you're both horrible human beings.
And that's not what I said. At least not about Rob. And I'm not talking about this isn't just that you don't have a individual chair that reclines. Nothing in your house, no piece of furniture allows you to kick your feet up and lean back.
We have those zero gravity lawn chairs. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where they kind of recline. That's the only thing of reclining we have in our home. Not that we use them in our home, but they are in our garage where we have a pretty sweet TV setup.
Yeah.
So am I the only one? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. I do see value as I continue to age and look to finish off my basement. It's a slow project, a slow process, because your boy's not super handy. He needs a lot of help in the construction category. But I have ideas for what I want my little man cave to look like down there, or what we call a studio, because content will be created. And I have my eyes. I've done some research on the things that I believe would make good seating in my man cave in the basement. And all of those options recline, all of them. But for some reason, we just don't have something that reclines. So am I the only one? The Nicolay Law Talk in Text line, 414-677-1250. Josh, who called in?
You won't believe it. This is Trevor's troll.
Okay. First things first. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
All right. He's got a voice, not just thumbs. This is great.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
All right. Hey, so Trevor's troll, I very much appreciate you. You always listen. You always have feedback. It is always at my expense, and that's okay.
That's why I'm my favorite.
That's the fun of it.
It is the fun of it. This is the blast. I don't even care if you have a name. I don't want to know about it. I just want to keep calling you. I know you shared it once, but I don't remember what it was. Because Trevor's troll is better. All right, Trevor's troll. Do you have a recliner, or am I the problem here?
You're the problem.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Have a reclining love seat. My wife wants one too, so we got a reclining love seat.
See, you don't need to have an individual chair. No. You can have part of your furniture can have a reclining ability. The thing is, with a recliner, you don't have to use it. That's what makes recliners great, is that you can also have it be non-reclining. Or if you need to kick your feet up, you can do that too. I don't get it. Thank you, Trevor's troll. You're the best.
I appreciate you calling
in.
Good to hear from you. That's great. Jeremy from Racine on the 262 on the Nicolay Law Talking text line. That number, 414-677-1250. Jeremy says, Trevor, no recliner here, bub. You're not alone. Appreciate it. Thank you. The 317 says, I had a recliner that broke, and now it sits in my garage. So count me in for 0 recliners, even though there is something that used to recline. Is that not everybody's recliner story? Everybody has a recliner. This damn thing can't get the stupid footrest to go down. It doesn't click anymore.
Yep. Time to go get a new recliner.
Like Trevor's troll, the 610 has a reclining love seat. That's what I have my eyes on for the man cave, but I have numerous.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see someday, probably like 5 years from now when I finish it. Annie says, no recliner in our house. We have a sofa, a love seat, and an oversized chair in our living room. I remember my dad's recliner, though, and that was always something we used to sit in. Me too. My grandparents had recliners. I know my dad has a recliner now. I know my mom has a recliner. I joke that every time I talk to her on FaceTime, she's always in the same chair. Oh, there you are in your chair.
The 608 says, I don't have a recliner, but that is because I have young kids who would destroy it within a year. I mean, that's any furniture, but yeah, hear you there. Going through that right now.
Bob in Minneapolis apparently isn't married. And if he is, not for long.
Not for long.
Bob says, Trevor, be the man of the house. Tell your wife she needs to be better.
Yeah.
You're buying a recliner. You are putting it where you want. Tell her to be better. Bob? Nope.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good call because then she'll divorce you. You can be single. And you can have a whole bunch of recliners.
All the recliners you want. Holy buckets, Bob. Scotty Tiffany has Josh's back on this. We have 3 recliners, 1 chair, and 2 on the couch. One of the recliners on the couch stopped working in the recline position, and that's the way it sits there for the last 3 years. Trevor, if you get a recliner, get a manual mechanism, not electric. I've heard horror stories about that.
I agree with that. Stay away from the electric reclining.
Do those still exist, though, in the love seat category? Can you still get a manual recliner in a love seat?
Yeah.
I just know that everything else is going cashless and
electric.
Right. Boogie woogie. Kevin in the 801, no recliner in my house, Trev. Also, I've had rotator cuff surgery, and I laid in bed just fine. Love you guys. Well, we love you, too. And I wonder why you were allowed to do that, and our guy Rob isn't. And he's not the only guy that I've known that had rotator cuff surgery that was told, don't you dare sleep in your bed. You need to sleep in a recliner.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have not had that surgery, so I'm not sure. Cactus Pete, listening from Mesa, Arizona, says, I actually don't have a recliner either. No particular reason. A really nice sectional, though, and I'll recline in the pool later today. Well, good for you.
Be better.
Seriously. How did you think we were going to take that news?
Annie says, I'm with Trevor. We have that anti-zero gravity chairs outside. That's it. I love that. Oh, look at Trevor's troll just texted back, and apparently he was driving earlier and using the old talk to text option. Yeah. Maybe he's a truck driver.
Yeah.
And so he pulled over just to call in and talk to us.
Appreciate that.
Very kind of you.
Hey, Andy in Brookfield, he's on his way home from a spring break trip, says, our couches have recliners, and I have a recliner for 5 total spots reclining in our living room. My man. That's what I'm talking about.
Zach in Green Bay just texted in and said, if you have the room for it, I think it's great to have a recliner. I had one in college, and that thing took up so much space, but it was perfect for watching sports and watching TV. I just think it depends on whether you're willing to put up with the trade-off. Zach in Green Bay. So we have a sectional sofa in our living room now, our family room, if you will, while we finish the basement in the new house we bought going on it'll be 2 years Labor Day, I believe. Or was it 2 years? Whatever. We don't have the space for a recliner. We have 2 chairs that are like accent chairs, and they spin, and they're super cool. I love them, but they don't recline.
Do you have footstools?
We have a coffee table that works as one most of the
time.
Do
you put your feet up on the coffee table?
I do.
Yeah, you do, because you don't have a recliner.
But I also don't really, I don't know. I'm sure if I had a recliner, I would use it every day. For sure.
Sounds like a really good reason to get one.
We should probably go buy a love seat and a couch instead of have a sectional. Amanda, asking for permission. Because I'm not Bob in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I was just going to
There's
say,
no
Bob,
way in hell I'm telling you what I'm doing.
Smart.
When we get back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, who's safest in regards to their job in Wisconsin sports? Who is unfireable? There's a few. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by Habish, and Rotier. Heavy rain this morning will continue throughout the day with a high of 62 degrees. It's currently 38 degrees here in Milwaukee.
So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Fly ball left center. Back is Mullins. He won't catch this one. It's gone and we're tied. First of the year for Bryce Terang, and that was a nuke.
Well, the kid's coming into his own, isn't he?
And a ground ball to the right side. He'll do it. Ortiz scores. Terang coming home. It's cut off. A 2-run single for Christian Yelich, and he does it again in the 8th. Liner down the right field line. That could clear him. Contreras is in. Yelich is in. Now Bowers stops because he missed second base. Mitchell will have a double. Bowers is safe at third. Hamilton, a bullet to center. That'll get another run home. A 6-run 8th inning. It's 8-2. Struck him out. Ball game over, and the Brewers take the series over the Rays. They finished the first 6 games at home, 5-1.
5-1 the record. Jeff Levering, Bill Schroeder, Brewers TV'd. And now the Brewers go on the road. 3 in Kansas City, then off to Boston. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Hour 3 of Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and live on YouTube and Twitter if you want to engage with our ugly mugs. What is the safest job in Wisconsin sports? Who is unfireable, if you will? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Many votes already for Mark Johnson. That's the head coach of UW women's hockey, 9-time national champion UW women's hockey, and of course the son of Badger Bob, who invented Wisconsin hockey. We'll put it that way. In your mind, Josh, who is unfireable in Wisconsin sports?
I mean, it's Pat Murphy, and it's not even close.
Well, he is one of them for sure.
Yeah.
But is he unfireable?
Yes.
Meaning, can he do nothing wrong to lose his job as manager of the Brewers?
Nope.
Other than scandal. I mean, that doesn't count, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the Brewers ended up having an absolutely awful year, still no.
Why?
Because he was like the first NL manager of the year wearing a Brewer uniform, and then he did it back-to-back years. You can't be the first at something, get the team to where they had the last 2 years when they weren't supposed to be there, be awarded for it by Major League Baseball outside of Milwaukee, and then 1 year later be like, nope, you're gone.
Maybe not 1 year later you're gone, but in the grand scheme of things, winning championships in pro sports hasn't proven to be an unfireable thing. Look at Budenholzer in Milwaukee. It wasn't long after he won the NBA Finals, won the NBA championship, that the Bucks said, hey, thanks, no thanks.
True. But
he
also,
is one of them. I think Murph is pretty safe.
Yeah, right. It's different. It's different too. It would have to be, I would say, a 3-year disappointment for Murph to be out. I think if Murph ends up it's going to be Murph's decision, not the Brewers, if something was to ever happen.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. I think Ed Policy's job at the Green Bay Packers is, if not the safest in Wisconsin, the safest in all of sports.
I hate that.
He is the pseudo owner. Why do you hate that?
Because I don't think that with where the organization's at, his job should be the most secure.
What am I missing?
Well, he's the one
you
that's
just used the word organization. I want to make sure that you know the difference between the football operation and the organization.
Right.
You talking about the on-field play?
I'm talking about he is in charge of the people that make the decisions, right? So like he's at the top. He's making the decisions. He was the one that chose to bring back LaFleur, Goody, and Ball, right?
Not
He was
only
the one
that,
to
but
do that.
long-term contracts that were not just prove-it contracts.
Correct. When you do those type of things, that's what makes the Packers organization different, no? Is that we don't have a Jerry Jones that we get mad at and go, but he owns the team. We can't do anything, right? The Packers are supposed to be different. And so if the guy that's making those decisions, and if those decisions aren't paying off, if those decisions aren't leading to success, I absolutely feel like his job should also be one that can be fireable. Well, why does that guy just get to automatically, essentially it's like saying, regardless of how the Packers do for the next however many years, he is the owner. He's the owner of the Packers now, and we have to live with it. And if they go 4-12 for the next 8 years, it doesn't matter because he's the owner. That doesn't sound like what the Packers organization is or should be. I don't think he should have a safe job.
He reports to the board, the executive committee at the Green Bay Packers, and his job is to put the people in place on the football operations that allow the team the best chance to win. His job is also to make sure that the Packers are a viable, healthy, financially secure club. And in that case, he has essentially stood on the shoulders of Mark Murphy and Bob Harlan, who made sure that the Packers were all things financially secure and, in Bob's case, really good at football, bringing it back to where it used to be in the yesteryear of Lombardi and Bart Starr and Nitschke and all those guys. The problem with his job at Policies is that it's wildly safe because the Packers are wildly successful.
Okay. But also, hasn't he already come out and said something needs to change because for us to keep up, we need more money?
Opportunistically, yes. He was talking about naming rights of Lambeau Field.
Sure.
He doesn't want to change the name of Lambeau Field, but what he was referencing was how much money other organizations have the capability of having in regard to a windfall that the Packers don't, because the Packers don't have minority shares that the owner can sell to a Giannis or an Aaron Rodgers and have big checks cut that bring windfalls of money into the organization. They don't have a way to create cash flow. Oh, yeah, they do. Stock sales. They can continue to do those however they see fit, and we'll keep buying a piece of paper that gives us nothing but something to look at on the wall. But what he's referencing is more so the struggles that the Packers organizations are up against because they don't have an owner, which, again, back out of it for a hot second, he can only do the job until he is 70. As a matter of fact, Zach in Green Bay just chimes in and said Ed Policy's 55. The required retirement age for the Packers president and CEO is 70. Unless the Packers suffer a drastic drop, he'll be there until he reaches retirement age. However, if he sells the naming rights, that might be a different story, Zach in Green Bay. What's interesting about that job, Josh, is that Bob Harlan had it for 16 years. Mark Murphy had it for 16 years. And Ed Policy got the job when he was 54, and the retirement age is 70. And for all intents and purposes, unless something goes haywire with him personally or the organization as a whole, he'll have it for 16 years. It might be, outside of Pat Murphy, outside of Mark Johnson, it might be the safest job in all of Wisconsin sports.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like that should be the case. The 920 says, I agree with Josh. Wait, did I just say that? Yeah, I did. I agree with Josh. Policy's job should be just like anybody else's. If the board of directors can and should can him if his decision-making processes don't go well.
And they can, and they would if it wasn't. But I'm just saying in regard to safety, can you think, Josh, how many bad decisions, major bad decisions in a row Ed Policy would have to make in order for the Packers board to go, man.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at extending out LaFleur, Goody, and Ball if that doesn't work out. That's one. Putting a naming rights sponsor on Lambeau Field, that would be 2. I don't know if it's a 3-strike and you're out system, but in his short tenure, he's already made one decision and talked about a second that are not necessarily 100% agreed upon from the Green Bay Packer fan base.
Yeah, and that's the hard part about the jobs, right? What's safe to the employer is not necessarily safe in the eyes of the fan. #sports. There's one other job that comes to mind, Josh, and I think you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't know what his nickname is. I don't even know his last name off the top of my head, but his name is Bob, I believe. If I said that there's someone involved with Wisconsin sports that we see often, for sure once a week if the Brewers are home, and on opening day, and on other major baseball games when it makes sense. The gentleman that sings God Bless America at AmFam Field that works in the Brewers fan center.
Yeah, he works in the
fan assistance
customer service. Yeah. Fan assistance. Yep.
Is his name Bob?
Yes. Yes,
I
it
didn't
is.
know if they called him Brewer Bob or I can't remember his last name, but that dude, if you've ever watched a Brewer game on a Sunday and got to the top of the 7th, I believe is when they sing that, and or been at a game.
Bob Kozlowski is his name.
Bob Kozlowski.
Yep.
That dude has the safest job in the history of Wisconsin sports.
Yeah, I think he's going to do just fine. What about our boy Jeff Levering?
Safe.
I think as far as companies not wanting to let him go, yeah. Hopefully, trust me, there was a little scare there when it was, hey, how are the Brewers, showing us baseball games this year? That gave me a little bit of a scare, but it wouldn't be because we were going to tell Jeff no. It was going to be because Jeff might have to find other employment.
Well, and the good job for all of the things that are broadcast with the Brewers, and I'm sure other professional sports teams, is that they're employees of the Brewers. And the Brewers are never not going to be on TV, and they'll always want to control who it is that's presenting Brewers baseball on TV. And Jeff, among others, are employees of the Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah, Jeff Levering, super safe when it comes to his job here in Wisconsin. Just ask Brian Anderson. And it's not for the sake of Jeff not having opportunity outside the walls of AmFam Field. He's in the radio booth. He's in the TV booth. He's on the Big Ten Network. He's doing Fox. He's a very talented man. And if we lose him, it won't be on the Brewers' accord. It will be on opportunity.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who within the Bucks organization is safe?
Jimmy Hasselman. That's literally it.
And he's not an employee. So I don't think that gets the count. I was just trying to think, is there any person getting paid from ownership within the Bucks organization that I could confidently say right now is safe? I don't think so. I don't think there's one person.
That should tell you something.
Yikes.
With the Brewers, outside of Pat Murphy, are super safe.
Well, I mean,
there's many in that organization. I mean, nobody comes to mind right away. Like, oh yeah, this person's untouchable. Jeff Levering, obviously. I mean, we talked about that.
The social media person,
killing it, absolutely.
Social media manager for the Brewers.
That's funny you bring that up though, because there was a time when the Brewers had a very talented person in charge of social media, and all of a sudden those positions were eliminated. Do you remember this? It was some years ago. They were doing incredibly well at social media, just like they are now. And the two people that were working on it were no more.
But by their choice or by the Brewers?
Brewers.
Mm,
so something can give in regards to these positions. But to your point, absolutely. What about Matt Arnold, according to the 920? Matt Arnold is pretty damn safe right now.
Yep, he's also a back-to-backer. Yep, 100%. 217 says Wayne Larrabee and Larry McCarron in their realm of Wisconsin sports broadcasters, legends. That against Zach in Green Bay.
So there's where some things come into play, though, in regards to safety and what the future holds. Wayne Larrabee, amazing. Amazing. I'm not saying Larry McCarron's not amazing, but I do have those moments listening to the radio broadcast of the Packers when I just want to hear Wayne talk.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a good moment, right? And Larry, wide open.
Heck of a Larry McCarron impression.
I appreciate that about him very much. But I also am like, some of the best moments that I want to look back on have that in the background. Jeremy from Racine says, do you guys say the Badgers women's coach for volleyball and hockey ball? Ooh, hockey, yes. Volleyball, no. That's another
Did you
really,
say
really
hockey
good
ball?
One. I did say hockey ball. That was awesome.
I love hockey ball.
We should invent that's a thing, right? Hockey ball with
Yeah.
rollerblades.
Yeah.
Like hockey sticks.
What do they call it? They call it street hockey. Street hockey is with ball.
Coming to an Olympics near you.
Let me see here. Chris Hook is safe, says the 773. Yeah, would hard to argue that.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Brookfield says Bango is the only one safe for the Bucks right now. I'm not even sure if that's true. I'm not even sure. Is Bango safe?
Look,
we blow it up. Who knows?
Can you see? Hello.
Yeah, we got the same one over here. We got the same Bango in the studio here in Milwaukee. Yeah, I would say that's it. That's scary if that's the case.
Yeah, that's the truth. Somebody else said Eric, the Bucks stadium announcer, the Bucks PA guy, Joe B in Ixonia, so talented.
Mm-hmm.
So talented. He started, we actually had him on the Inside Wisconsin podcast. Awesome story. He started as the Bucks PA guy back when I was in high school. And he was one of the guys that made me fall in love with whatever it is that public address announcers do to help bring a stadium and arena to life. It was Bob Betts at the Brewers. It was Eric at the Bucks. The guy that does the PA announcing for the Badgers, I think both Badgers basketball and Badgers football, I think that's the same person. Those are very safe jobs. Well, I thought my job was safe. Never mind.
That to the point. You never know. Although sometimes you do know. 715 Matt LePay.
Yep.
He's in a league of his own, right?
I take back, I think, what I said earlier. I think Matt LePay, of all of the things that we've talked about, with all due respect to Mark Johnson, Matt LePay has the safest job in all of sports in the state of Wisconsin. I really, really believe that.
More than Ed Policy?
Way more than Ed Policy.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's mostly what I needed.
Welcome.
414 said, guys, no job is safe. No one's job is safe. I don't believe that. I 100% believe that Matt LePay's job is safe. Matt LePay will be in that booth as long as Matt LePay wants to be in that booth. His job is safe.
Here's a topic for another conversation from Zach in Green Bay. Says, had the drama between both quarterbacks and the Packers not unfolded the way it did, who would have been more untradeable? Favre or Rodgers? I'm writing that down right now, Zach. That's a really great topic for a different day.
Mm-hmm.
Who is untradeable? Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. When we come back, apparently the doubleheader on Monday Night Football, not untouchable. It will be no more. If you missed this, we'll cover it next, and we want to know your thoughts. Do you like all of these different days that have NFL games starting to fall on them? Like, they're talking about a game now on Thanksgiving Eve.
Yep.
And the like. But the doubleheader thing on Monday Night Football, I thought was kind of dumb.
Well, apparently so did a lot of people.
We'll get your take and figure out what news that brought and where it came from when we come back, and the reasoning behind it might surprise you. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Much to the chagrin of nobody, the doubleheader on Monday nights is over. This was something that was cool maybe one time as like, hey, we got a double thing here, but nobody really enjoyed it. It was tough to watch. I just think it was an interesting thing to try. I appreciate ESPN getting more NFL games out of it, so I appreciate and respect that. But I do believe during the negotiations of NFL Network coming over to ESPN, which is now official, now they have 5 games that would have been Monday Night Football doubleheaders that are now available potentially to new streaming platforms that they can sell a la carte. And that's where you can just start getting the bidding wars for absolutely absurd games. And this is how the revenue and the salary cap in the league will continue to grow.
Classic NFL rivalry is renewed. These two teams do not like each other, and you got to love that.
Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You heard it there from Pat McAfee. The news broke yesterday that Monday Night Football doubleheaders on ESPN are no more, much to the chagrin of literally nobody.
Yeah.
Not the only news from the NFL. Some breaking news just a few minutes ago. The Raiders are landing Kirk Cousins
off
as
the board.
Their quarterback. Off the board as the potential backup here in Green Bay. Many, including Matt Schneidman, were hot and heavy on Kirk Cousins potentially backing up Jordan Love, to which Kirk Cousins says, I'm still a starter. And that would be the guess as to how the Raiders season starts with Kirk Cousins, knowing that they have the number 1 overall pick, I do believe.
Yep.
And that pick is likely going to be one Mr. Mendoza, who will most likely back up Kirk Cousins and learn a thing or two, which annoys me because people are onto it. That's exactly what we've done so well here in Green Bay for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, we've also gotten lucky that it's worked here. A few teams have tried it since, Aaron Rodgers and then Jordan Love, and it just hasn't panned out. But that definitely seems like that's going to be what they're going for. Does this make you worried at all about a backup QB? Them not having a person, because I thought, Kirk Cousins would be a great backup.
Yeah, I thought he would have been great for sure. And I think the worry comes from Malik Willis being great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember having this worry as often in the past. It kind of comes with the territory in the NFL that if you lose your starting quarterback, your likelihood of winning isn't great. We broke the mold on that with Malik Willis. Props to Brian Gutekunst, quite possibly the greatest addition Goody has made to the team. Now, hopefully Micah Parsons pans out to be that instead of Malik Willis, but to date, Malik Willis proved that in regard to somebody that can come in and overcome the injuries that the Packers had such a problem with this past season, Malik Willis was the guy. But when in the Packers past has that been a thing? Were we really good at quarterback when Brett Favre got hurt, didn't play, which was rare, by the way?
Well, that's why it didn't matter, because that was never the case with Brett Favre.
But he did come out of games, and much like the other injured quarterbacks in the Packers past, how did we do at that point? I don't recall off the top of my head.
I don't think we worried as much about if it was just he came out to finish a game. I think it was hey, our quarterback's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. What's our game plan? That's where it was different. And we saw it not work when Aaron Rodgers was in that situation. When he broke his collarbone and they scrambled and they had to find someone else and the Packers were losing every game they played, that was a problem, right? And then we saw Malik Willis come in a decent amount. The reason why there was a debate over Jordan Love to Malik Willis, why there was even a question with some people, was because Malik Willis was given an opportunity. He was there. Love was hurt enough to where Malik Willis got playing time. And that's what is putting this in our heads. So I do kind of feel like this isn't a Brett Favre situation. There's a chance that Jordan Love might be a semi-injury prone quarterback to where he's not going to go, every game, every season, or even 95% of the games. And so who we have backing him up, I think is a pretty big role.
I also think it's an apples to oranges comparison of Favre to Rodgers to Love, because the NFL does not handle injuries today the way they didn't handle injuries in Favre's era. I don't know that guys are allowed to play now with the injuries that Favre had, specifically with the concussion protocol.
Yeah, no, that's a true statement and a fair point. But even more to the point of needing a good backup, needing to have a good backup. I don't know that just having some jabroni, some skaboosh back there is really that's not covering it. You need to have a guy.
Monday Night Football didn't need to have a backup either. There never needed to be this 2 games on a Monday night thing. It was a travesty. Luckily, the Packers never ran into that. If the Packers were playing on Monday night, the NFL knew better than to stick another game on Monday Night Football when the Green Bay Packers were playing. But that wasn't the case for a lot of other teams. And it's to be said now that there will be no more. And yet there will be a lot of addition to games in other nights and maybe other days, which is annoying because it's just another thing that we have to pay attention to during the NFL season. But Josh, this goes to a much bigger picture that is looming in the NFL, and that's an 18th week in the regular season.
So two separate things here. First, a lot of people, and we see your text here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. A lot of people not a fan of additional games being on different nights. A few people texted in and said, I'm so glad there's not a doubleheader on Monday nights. I don't even watch the Thursday night games. I get that, but that's not me at all. I love the fact that there's a Thursday night game because if it's great, I'm going to watch it. If it sucks, it's 2026. There's a million things to watch. I don't have to watch it. They're giving me an option. When all of the games are on Sunday, when my team is playing, now I'm not enjoying the rest of the NFL because there's 8 games going on at the same time. If you're picking them off and putting a random game on a Wednesday or a Thursday, that doesn't mean I have to watch it, right? I'm not locked in. No one's strapping me down to a chair and saying, you must watch this game. I can still watch something else, do something else, but I don't mind if I'm just going to be at a bar having that on instead of, I don't know, some random game from 2 years ago that the NFL Network will show. I'm not against that.
As you would expect me to have, I look at all of these things through the lens of inside Wisconsin and specifically the Green Bay Packers. If there is a game on a different night other than Sundays, like a Thursday night game following a Sunday game, it's a disadvantage. And I would like things not to put the Packers in places that are a disadvantage.
Sure. I mean, that's when it comes to player safety and recovery time. Obviously, those are things that if you're the NFL and you're going to do this, you have to have someone who's good at scheduling make sure that that plays out that way. You know, right. these quick turnarounds. But to me as a fan, that's not the problem. It's not because I'm like, oh, I just watched my team. It's because of their safety and health and performance.
And recovery and being able to prep and prepare and do all the things that a typical 7-day work week in the NFL would allow you to prepare for. Especially now, adding potentially an 18th week. And that was Pat McAfee's take as that clip continued on. With the NFL Network and ESPN getting cozy in the same bed and looking for different nights to put games on and streaming services and Amazon and Netflix and all the things that go into that, and then increasing revenue in the NFL, which we know increases the salary cap. The NFL salary cap went up $20 million this year.
Yeah.
The NFL will show all of that increased revenue, all of the increased opportunity with games on other nights and streaming services and the like, and they'll show that to the players union and go, hey, we know that adding games to the regular season is kind of a non-starter at this point. Although they helped with the preseason, they took one game away, and now there's that buffer week between when the cuts happen and the preseason is done until the regular season starts. But this is one easy way for the NFL to continue to pile on the dollar bills and get the players union to buy into it, because if they see the increased revenue that comes along with an increased salary cap, that comes along with more money for the players, then look, we'll add an 18th week. And that's the plausibility of all of this behind the scenes at a 30,000 foot level.
See, and the 18th week argument, I always heard that it was because they want to get it to where the Super Bowl happens the day before President's Day. Like if you get it to there, then you're essentially making, for a lot of people, the Super Bowl a national holiday, because then places are closed, people don't work, schools are off the next day, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, okay, I can see it from that standpoint. But I don't think like it's just you're adding another week of making money. That's why they're looking for the 18th week. It's not because of the Super Bowl. It's because it's another, we can squeeze more juice out of this fruit.
Which is the whole reason they're not doing doubleheaders on Monday Night Football anymore, because they're going to show you how they can increase revenue in other spots in regard to the broadcast. And we know that it's the TV revenue and the rev share that goes across all teams, unlike Major League Baseball, that allows things like the salary cap to be increased, which allows things like the players' salaries to be increased. And that is the only way that the NFL can make a change in order to get the players to buy into an 18th week. It's a fairly non-starter, Josh, for the players at this point. And I get it. I thought 16 weeks of NFL was a lot. And then the 17th week came. I still hate the preseason. I don't know why we do that. Can't we just do joint practices and watch them beat the hell out of each other and get in fights and then call that good? What's the benefit of actual game reps? Why can't we just call them practices? Because that's what they are.
Well,
Why?
I mean,
money. That's why.
But the records don't count. It's really no different than when they had those few spring training games at American Family Field that didn't count, because it was giving you the opportunity to have your stadium ops and everything else get a test run before the season starts. So
that's a big piece.
There's a lot more that goes into those preseason games than just what happens on the field.
Well, but looking at the schedule and why they decided not to have a doubleheader on Monday nights, that's an easy connection as well. Let's just get rid of another preseason game. There is more that has to do with it in terms of ops and stuff. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. The 920 says, hey, did you guys see that the NFL opening game is going to be on Wednesday night in Australia? Be better, NFL. Yeah, I did see that. Does that change things in regards to our opinion on other days? I don't know. These overseas games are what they are.
Haven't they done that the last couple years?
This is the first game ever in Australia.
Yeah, but like to where like there's an international game to kick things off, or at least it's like the first
I don't think so.
week.
I don't think.
Didn't the Packers play the Eagles in Brazil for week one?
Mm-hmm. Was that the NFL kickoff? That I can't quite commit to, but I know that they're pushing hot and heavy to have an overseas game every week of the year.
I blame baseball for that. Why? The NFL looked at baseball because for a while that was how it was. It was like Yankees and Red Sox from the Tokyo Dome or I don't know, pick the teams, but that was. And then like 4 days later, the rest of the teams played. But that was how they officially kicked off the MLB season. I'm sure they made a bunch of money off of it. And the NFL said, hey, we could do that too. Let's have our first game be somewhere else.
I blame whoever was running NFL Europe. That was something that should have been successful, and it was not. And it went defunct. And now the NFL America said, well, we'll take over those stadiums and those fans. And it's pretty awesome to see. I mean, filling those stadiums overseas is a fun experience to watch. I almost went to the London game and luckily said no, because that would have absolutely sucked to go over there and lose the way they did and then fly all the way home. But it looked fun from everything that I saw. I don't know. We'll see what shakes out. What's that?
So besides the game.
Besides the game, exactly. All right, we'll cross over with our friends from 9 to noon with John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, Brandon Snide. When we return, what's coming up from their perspective? And I wonder what their take is on this whole Monday Night Football / 18th week. If we talk to one John Kuhn, he'll have a lot to say. We'll see. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Hey, did you know that any youth sports player can score a free small classic Frosty anytime they visit Wendy's in their sports uniform? That's right. Just stop by after practice or with your team after a game. Who doesn't love a Frosty?
If you text sports to 414-677-1250, that's the Nicolay Law talk and text line, you'll get a link right back to where you can catch the show online, because Inside Wisconsin Sports is also a podcast. We podcast the show. We essentially take the show, cut it up a little bit, put it online for you so that if you miss a portion and you want to come back to it, you can, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, as well as wisportsradio.com. Rami Makloff back in the chair, joining us from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. Rami, first things first, you feeling better, bub?
We're getting there. It's
good. All right.
It's like moved out of the chest and throat area and more into the sinus and runny nose sort of situation. But we're good.
Shout out to one of my best friends, Jason in the 920. Bowled his second 300 last night of his life.
His second?
His second 300.
Is he a professional bowler?
No.
Is he in
he
the
is an
PBA?
avid bowler. He bowls a lot. But, yeah, his second one. And
He didn't tell me this. Bury the lead.
Yeah, his second 300. Well, I wanted to give him his credit where credit was due and thought that this would be a good time to give him a shout out. But it also raises a question that I wanted to ask you guys. Josh, I think I know yours. But Rami, I'm not sure if you ever played sports.
Yeah.
What is your guys' greatest sports accomplishment? This is going to be a topic for a different day, but I wanted to get this out of the way with Rami because I'm curious generally. What is your greatest sports accomplishment?
That is a good question. I mean, I don't have any great accomplishments at any high level. You know, I'm not John Kuhn. You know what I mean? or a Mason Crosby.
I mean, is that the bar? Because then none of us do.
Valid.
I hit 3 homers in a game once. I think that's
a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah,
what level?
That's probably it. I don't know.
Oh, look at you, Josh.
I want to know. I don't know how far. I'm not saying it's not impressive either way. I just want to know.
I don't know exactly. I was a teenager. It was travel. I don't even know if it was travel ball or it was like
okay, there you go.
I don't know, but it was.
That's way bigger than if you would have said T-ball.
Yeah, no, I was a teenager.
I think it's more impressive when it's T-ball.
There you go.
I hit 3 home runs in a game. Look at that.
That's really cool. Josh, is yours the 300?
No, mine is being a state champ. So my bowling team won state.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest. A lot of guys bowl 300s, but we came away with a state championship. We got a banner. We got jackets.
What about you, Trevor?
I'm going to save mine for a different day when we talk about this as a whole unit and ask everybody listening across the state of Wisconsin.
Were you a hooper? Because you're a tall guy. Were you a hooper?
I sure was.
Okay.
I sure was.
So I'm guessing it had something to do with the basketball.
That's a good guess.
Trevor, can you dunk?
Anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. I can. However, I have got a case of the yips when it comes to jumping that is unfathomable. I think I shared with, maybe you don't know this, Rami, but I blew out my Achilles. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that to me
a couple of years ago. So me and the jumping, terrifying.
Like,
absolutely.
Do you trip over your own feet? Is it that kind of yips? Like you're not like
no, I'm afraid to blow out the Achilles I did already, or B, the other one.
Okay.
I don't know, man. That's an injury. Like we all have come back from pulled hammies or getting beamed and or tennis elbow, all of the things. I get it, right? Listening to your Achilles pop is a different level.
That's not pleasant. I've never done it, but that's not.
We just had our son and parents 8th grade basketball parents versus them game a few weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
The season came to an end and those guys wanted me to dunk in the worst way. And I didn't dunk. I attempted once and it didn't go well, but I could tell it didn't. I almost dunked it, but I did not give her all she's got, Captain, because I'm terrified.
No, that makes sense. But you could dunk at one point without even thinking about it.
I can still dunk. God, without even thinking about it, my freshman year of college, I could jump out of the gym. It was unreal. I'm young for my age and my class, and I always felt like I was 1 year behind in terms of just athletic maturity and maybe my body in just all the things that go into sports.
Yeah.
When I got to college and played college basketball, my game was at a completely different level than it was my senior year of high school.
Huh.
I dunked like crazy. That was fun.
You know, all I
right.
want in life is to be able to dunk a basketball. Still to this day. That's all I want in life.
That's not true.
No, it is. It really is.
That's it.
I could die a happy man. If I could just dunk, just get up and dunk on a 10-foot hoop and throw it down, I could die a happy man today.
Trevor, what's the one thing
That's all I want in life.
that you want that you could die a happy man? Because I know it and we share it. What's the one thing that you, if happened?
I know what it is. A Brewers World Series.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I want that for you guys.
But it's also because
nice to know that Rami's is just to dunk.
Well, but I've dunked before. And I almost said a lot of words I can't say.
I want to put some
the team he likes.
I want to put some
has one of them things.
I want to put some flubber on your shoes. Have you get the ability to dunk and just move the hell on. All right, Rami, there you go. It's been
7 months into this, and the word flubber makes its debut.
See you later.
Outstanding. All right, Rami, what's up from 9 to noon today? Bud?
We got a jam-packed show, gentlemen. We'll talk, obviously, some Brewers with another win last night and the red-hot start that they're off to. We'll do that amongst ourselves in the first segment. Vinny Rotino joins us at 9:25 from Brewers TV. At 10 o'clock, we'll tell you what's driving the headlines, including a fun story that's going to inspire our random power rankings. And Trey Crosby will join us to talk about what Brandon Snodd called the funnest Bucks game of the year last night. Trey Crosby from the Cream City Crossover joins us at 11 o'clock.
Brandon.
Yeah, I know. He's out of his damn mind. I work with a couple of psychos. Yep.
Rami, when you go up to a concession stand at a sporting event and they give you that little pad and you click the tip, do you have like standards that you hold yourself
5
to?
buttons,
That was really
18, 20, 22, custom, no. Which one do you hit?
It does depend. I'll give you that.
For me, it's my general rule of if I'm buying drinks, it's $1 a beer, $2 a mixed drink.
Yep, I'm right there.
That's my formula. Because all you got to do with the beer is like either pour it or pop the cap off, and you're getting $1 for that. If you have to mix a drink, that's worth $2 in my book. That's in a bar, that's in a stadium. It's $1 for a beer, $2 for a mixed drink.
Okay. When you are at a bar, and let's just say you're going to put in a shift. Let's say 3 hours.
Okay.
Get to the bar at 9, you leave at midnight.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've had one of those, but
right. I'm pretty sure that's me tomorrow night.
Uh-huh.
Do you tip at the end or do you tip as you go?
No, I leave the tab open. If I know I'm hanging out for a minute, I leave the tab open and then just tip at the end of the night.
So that is the only time that I tip 20% at the bar.
When you're closing out a long tab, is you'll just do a percentage.
Because you were there the same amount of time as if you were sitting and having a meal. It's not a 10-second interaction.
Exactly. And I think, frankly, the bartenders make more. We've all seen those signs in the bars here in Wisconsin. You leave your tab open, you get 20% added to it. Have a good one.
And if it's someplace where I'm going to go regularly, like I do stand-up comedy. So if it's a comedy club that I frequent regularly, there's a little extra on the tip because I'm going to see that bartender like every week or every few weeks. You know what I mean? I want to be in their good graces. I want good vibes in the place. So that there's a little extra there. If it's somebody I know or a bartender or a server that I know I'm going to see regularly.
It's awesome. All right, 9 to noon with John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, Brandon Sneid coming up next here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. After that, I should say, not with. After that, that's us.
Yeah, we're out.
That's them. We are out. Our thanks to all of you. Some really great topics of conversation today that you all participated in. It was a fun show. We're going to do lots more of that here in the coming months as we look at sports and go, ooh, okay, but baseball and golf and you and all the things that you care about most. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We have been Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.